Do you think they should or shouldn't? Shouldn't be abused. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. So what is it about animals that makes you feel like they shouldn't be abused?
No, if I get pinched, it hurts. So
Yeah.
it hurts for them as well.
If you truly are against animal abuse, do you think that you could say that while supporting industries that abuse animals? No, right?
No, I just,
Yeah.
I just can't do veganism.
You're pretty much saying that you can't be against animal abuse. Because that's all that veganism means.
Saying that if I'm not this, then I'm automatically this.
Well, if you're paying people to abuse animals for you, it does follow that you are not against animal abuse, right?
I'm not.
Do you think they should or shouldn't? Shouldn't be abused. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. So what is it about animals that makes you feel like they shouldn't be abused?
You know, if I get pinched, it hurts. So
Yeah.
it hurts for them as well.
Yeah. I guess it's like the same capacity to suffer just like us.
Yeah. Exactly.
And do you think that applies to all animals? Yeah. Cool. And like, would you say that you're against animal abuse yourself?
Yeah, to an extent, yeah.
To an extent? With that, do you think that there are certain cases where animal abuse is justified?
Not really. Like when you talk about the word abuse, it's like just treating something like unfairly and unjustly and like
Yeah. I'm just talking about a basic sense of justice and rights. Just be free, have bodily autonomy, not be killed.
yeah.
Yeah. What industries do you think abuse animals?
Wow, I don't know because like you only see what you see in the news really.
I'm actually showing it on the screen, so take a wild guess. What do you think this industry here is?
Obviously the animal meat industry.
Animal agriculture? Yeah. I'm also showing footage of egg farming, dairy, fur, animal testing, etc. Are you against all of those forms of exploitation? Or?
Yeah, no, I don't agree with that.
You don't agree with it? Okay. And if you don't agree with it, how does it make you feel when you watch this kind of footage?
Well, you don't want to look at it.
You don't want to look at it at all,
that's
eh?
what it makes you feel.
Yeah. Would you say that what's being done to them is evil and unjustly?
Well, I wouldn't like to use the word evil, but like I don't agree with it.
Yeah, I would say they're not getting the justice they deserve. Do you agree?
Yeah, well, they're not being treated right.
Being against animal abuse and disagreeing with the sign, what do you think you can do about it as an individual if you don't want to support these industries?
Well, if you see it happening, then say something against it.
Yep.
If you see it happening.
Well, the thing is, you'll never see these things. All of these places are behind closed walls. When you go into the supermarket, you will never see the suffering of the animals.
When we shop at the supermarket, we always buy the free range.
Like, obviously, once the animals get to the slaughterhouse, they don't care if it's free range or not. But also, the definition of free range. What is it in your head?
They're not caged.
Not caged? Yeah. What free range legally means in New Zealand, for chickens especially, they can be in a barn. They would have no more space than they would have if they were caged as well. Do you think that's a life that's free of suffering? So those labels are put there to make you feel better about purchasing a product of animal abuse. It's not put there to make the animals feel better, right? You're a free-range animal. You're still going to get sent to the slaughterhouse.
So what's going to happen with all this kind of stuff that you're doing here with this, like asking people's opinions and all that? Is it going to some sort of research or?
Basically, this issue here is created by supply and demand, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm out here doing is talking to the causes of it, the consumers, right? Consumers are the problem, so consumers need to create the solution as well. The solution, first and foremost, is to boycott these industries that are abusing animals, and then the companies will take action to produce other things if they get boycotted. Because obviously, at the end of the day, all they want to do is make money, right? Yeah. They don't care how they produce that money. But if people keep on buying animal products, then there's no reason for them to stop, is there? Yeah. So it's not a company issue. If I write a petition saying, why are you killing the calves from the dairy industry as soon as they're born, they're not going to stop if people don't stop supporting the industry, right? So it's a consumer-made problem with a consumer-made solution, and that's exactly why I'm out here, educating the public on industries that abuse animals.
Like everybody should drink milk, eat meat.
Do you think that we should eat puppies?
No.
Why not? Do you think that everybody shouldn't eat puppies? And like you said before, they suffer exactly the same as us. So why would we say that about one animal and not the other?
It's just how they've been raised as well. So
Yeah.
they grow up like seeing that all the time. And that's
But if we think so plainly like that, with other examples in our history where things have been done for a long time, do you think that just because something's been done for a long time, we shouldn't question it?
That's the thing. So the question is, how do you change the culture and how do you change the sociology of like
Yeah.
people's growing up and how people's way of thinking as well?
It starts at the individual level. Slavery used to be legal 200 years ago, right? How did that ever get abolished? Did it get abolished because everyone just suddenly went like, yeah, we're against racism? Or did it happen because there were small groups of extremists who were protesting about it?
There'll be movements.
Yeah, those started from individuals, right? Just like us.
Yeah.
So it's up to us as individuals to make these decisions. And if you truly are against animal abuse, do you think that you could say that while supporting industries that abuse animals?
I think
No, right? Yeah. And it applies to all animals, not just the pets we see.
yes.
Yeah. So if you disagree with this, what do you think you can do about it?
When you see it happen, stop it.
Like when you go to the
Like,
supermarket, you're never going to
I
see
get
it.
what you mean.
Yeah.
We're going to see it unless we actually go to those places and say
Yeah.
something and do something about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you are
pretty
agreeing
much.
with the sign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
get what you mean.
So basically, I'm promoting animal rights in the form of veganism, because when you're vegan, it just means that you won't pay anyone to abuse animals for you, and
I
you
get what you're
fundamentally
doing.
disagree with the
And
sign.
like, I can understand how it's a strong message and it's a pretty hard job trying to convince some people as well.
I don't care about those people. If I was protesting racism, I know that not every single person in the world is not going to be a racist. That's just not practicable
I'm
or
not saying
possible.
that I'm not saying that you should not care about them, but it might be just a harder job.
I won't put too much time and effort if they're not willing to be open to the message. I'm only focusing on people who do care about animals and people like you who do think they shouldn't be abused, to align their beliefs with their actions. Because at the moment, do you think your actions reflect someone who disagrees with animal abuse?
No.
No, yeah. And it's as
Because,
simple
we're not
as...
actively going out and doing anything about it.
I mean, yeah, I think the first step would be to stop supporting it in the first place, right? Because...
Promote veganism.
No, just to be vegan in the first place. I'm talking about issues of injustice here. Right? If I were to be a sexist and say to people, why are you discriminating against women? It wouldn't make sense for me to do, right?
No, but
Yeah. And the same applies. If you're against animal abuse and your solution is to continue to pay for it while telling other people to stop it, it doesn't make sense, right? Yeah.
yeah, it's all a point.
Yeah.
So like alternative is that we raise our own animals.
Do you think you need to eat animals to be happy or healthy?
No, but it's definitely a preference. You know, medically you may be able to get all those other vitamins other ways through like other vegetables.
There's no...
No, I just,
Yeah.
yeah, I just can't do veganism, like personally.
Well, that
And
just
I think
means
it's
that you don't understand it, one, or that you're pretty much saying that you can't be against animal abuse. Because that's
So-
all that veganism means.
Is there anything you want me to do to like?
The first step for everyone is to practice what you preach and literally go vegan. Because if you are against animal abuse,
Not even
Then-
vegetarians have to be vegan.
vegetarians don't do anything for animals at all. Because what do you think happens to the cows?
Like dairy and no egg, no
Yeah.
cheese.
No puppies, no dolphins, no cats. Like you said, you wouldn't need a puppy. But that's like a selective thing. Because they're like, yeah, some animals don't deserve to be abused, but some do. Like that's kind of the viewpoint you have at the moment.
You grow up in like a New Zealand society, you know you drink cow's milk.
Just
You know,
because
it's
something's normalized by
normal.
society doesn't mean it's morally justified, right?
It
But
doesn't.
what
There's
drink
nothing
their
about-
milk is abusing?
Why does a cow produce milk in the first place?
no.
Do you think they just eat grass and produce milk like that?
I just think a vegan is too extreme for me.
Do you think that supporting animal abuse
But, like, the
is
thing is-
less extreme than not supporting animal
No, but
I
abuse?
just
You
felt like
don't-
there's
you
like trying to support animal abuse, but we don't support animal abuse.
But like,
Well, that-
We don't
you
choose
can
to be
say
vegan.
That means you have a
vegan.
misconception on what veganism means, because veganism only means that you're truly against animal abuse. It's got nothing to do with your
But
personal
that's why
health or
I don't
anything.
think I can be a vegan, but I'm not. also
Because-
supporting
because you-
animal abuse.
But that's impossible.
And that's
That's
not
impossible.
because it's you giving other people a title. Because I'm not A, I'm automatically a B.
Yeah,
There's no
that's
C.
what I feel. I'm not vegan and I'm supporting animal abuse.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is eggs over here, right? This is the egg industry. What they're doing
The
is
world
they're
is not-
separating.
Yeah, I know what you just
Yeah.
explained.
So
It's
obviously
not A
you
and
know
B.
that I'm saying that
But the world isn't A and B. It's not like either this or this.
this
It's
issue of
different.
animal rights is black and white.
You're saying that if I'm not this, then I'm automatically this.
Well, if you're paying people to abuse animals for you, it does follow that you are not against animal abuse, right?
I'm not against animal abuse, but I'm not automatically an animal abuser because I'm not a vegan.
No, I do think so.
That's
That's
fine.
your opinion.
Like you said yourself before, you can't support industries that abuse animals and be against animal abuse at the same time. That's exactly what I'm saying, and you said that yourself.
But you also say that like I'm not all.
So obviously there are people who don't realize that they cause suffering to animals.
You know, I think so. A, an abuse is wrong. B,
I don't think you actually think that. I know that eating puppies is wrong, but just because I eat puppies doesn't mean I'm a dog abuser. If you're arguing against me, then you do agree with the sign.
I'm not arguing against you because I fully support that.
You can't support me and justify it at the same time.
Okay.
But
It's
yeah,
okay, bro.
that's all right, man.
Yeah, have a good Saturday.
See you, bro.